A warm Saturday morning in Atlanta. Jasmine Carter, a 27-year-old nurse, rushed into her favorite coffee shop. She was late for her shift but desperately needed caffeine. As she fumbled with her purse, a deep voice behind her said, "I got this." She turned to see Marcus Johnson, a handsome man in a crisp suit, flashing a confident smile. Jasmine blushed. She barely knew him, but something in his charm made her heart skip. They exchanged numbers that day, not knowing how deeply their lives would soon intertwine. Marcus moved quickly. Within weeks, Jasmine found herself swept into fancy dinners, weekend trips, and expensive gifts. Her friends teased her, saying, "Girl, this man is Prince Charming." Jasmine laughed, but deep inside, she wondered why Marcus avoided questions about his past. "I've been through things," he would say vaguely. Love made her ignore the gaps. She believed actions spoke louder than words, and Marcus's actions painted love in bold colors. Jasmine's mother, Evelyn, was less impressed. "Baby, love is sweet, but don't let it blind you," she warned one evening. Jasmine rolled her eyes. "Mama, you don't understand. Marcus is different." Evelyn sighed. She had seen this before, men who seemed perfect until reality knocked. But Jasmine's heart was already caught in a whirlwind, and no warning could slow her down. 3 months later, Marcus proposed under the city lights, kneeling with a diamond ring that glittered like stars. Jasmine gasped. "Yes!" she cried, hugging him tight. Her friends screamed over FaceTime, her mother forced a smile, and Jasmine believed her fairy tale had begun. What she didn't notice was the shadow that flickered in Marcus's eyes when she asked about setting a wedding date. Soon after the engagement, cracks began to show. Marcus grew possessive. "Why you always working late at the hospital? Who you texting?" he asked, his tone sharper than before. Jasmine brushed it off as stress. "He loves me too much, that's all," she told her best friend, Tasha. But Tasha frowned. "Love ain't supposed to feel like prison, Jazz." One evening, Jasmine followed her instincts and checked Marcus's phone while he showered. Her chest tightened as she scrolled through messages from another woman named Renee. The texts were intimate, too intimate. When Marcus caught her, his face darkened. "You went through my phone," he growled. Jasmine trembled. He apologized later, blaming a mistake from the past. Love blinded her again, and she forgave him. As the wedding approached, Renee appeared. At Jasmine's bridal shower, Renee barged in, yelling, "You think you're marrying him? He's been with me this whole time." Gasps filled the room. Jasmine's world spun. Marcus denied it, swearing Renee was crazy. But doubt spread like poison. Jasmine's once shiny love now looked fragile, cracked like thin glass. Jasmine confronted Marcus late that night. "Tell me the truth. Are you still with her?" Marcus shouted. "Why can't you just trust me?" Tears streamed down her face. "Because trust has to be earned, Marcus, and you keep breaking it." That night, she slept on her mother's couch, her engagement ring heavy in her pocket. Evelyn sat with Jasmine the next morning, holding her hand. "Baby, I told you, love can blind you. But now your eyes are open. Don't close them again." Jasmine wept. "Mama, I don't know how to let go." Evelyn whispered, "By remembering your worth." With trembling hands, Jasmine returned the ring. "I can't marry you," she said firmly. Marcus tried to plead, even dropped to his knees. But Jasmine shook her head. "Love without trust is poison. I choose me." For the first time, Marcus's charm had no power over her. She walked away, heartbroken but lighter. Healing wasn't instant. Jasmine spent months crying, journaling, and working double shifts to keep her mind busy. Tasha reminded her, "Girl, heartbreak doesn't kill, it teaches." Slowly, Jasmine smiled again, rediscovering parts of herself she had lost in Marcus's shadow. One afternoon at the hospital, Jasmine met David, a kind paramedic with gentle eyes. Unlike Marcus, David didn't shower her with luxury. Instead, he offered consistency. "Let me take you out for coffee," he said, grinning. Jasmine hesitated, but something about his honesty pulled her in. This time, she walked slower into love. David wasn't perfect, but he was real. He listened when Jasmine spoke, held her hand without control, and respected her independence. "I don't need to own you, Jasmine. I just want to walk beside you," he told her one evening. For the first time, she felt love without chains. Months later, Jasmine stood at the same coffee shop where she had first met Marcus. This time, she was with David. As they laughed over spilled sugar, Jasmine realized her journey had come full circle. Love wasn't blind anymore. It was clear, steady, and grounded in truth. Looking back, Jasmine knew Marcus had been her lesson, not her destiny. "When love is blind," she told Tasha one evening, "it makes you ignore red flags. But when love sees, it heals." Tasha hugged her. Evelyn smiled proudly. And as Jasmine leaned into David's embrace, she finally understood. True love wasn't about fairy tales. It was about freedom, honesty, and sight. It had been nearly a year since Jasmine walked away from Marcus, yet his shadow lingered. One evening, as she left the hospital, she saw him waiting by her car. "Jasmine, please." "Just 5 minutes," he begged, eyes desperate. She froze. The old Jasmine would have melted, but this Jasmine stood taller. "Marcus, there's nothing left between us." His voice cracked. "I lost everything when I lost you." She turned away, realizing pity was not love. Life with David wasn't perfect. His job as a paramedic demanded long nights, and sometimes Jasmine's insecurities crept in. "What if you get tired of me too?" she asked one night. David kissed her forehead. "Jazz, I don't love you because you're perfect. I love you because you're real. And I'm not going anywhere." His steady presence calmed her storm, teaching her that real love was not about fireworks. It was about consistency. Jasmine's hard work paid off when the hospital promoted her to head nurse. The ceremony was small, but her heart swelled when David showed up with flowers. "This is your moment," he whispered. Evelyn hugged her tightly. "Baby, you found your wings." Jasmine realized she wasn't just surviving anymore. She was thriving. The woman who once cried herself to sleep was now a leader, inspiring others. Months later, David was offered a chance to transfer to another city with better pay. Over dinner, he broke the news. "It's a big opportunity, Jazz. But it means leaving Atlanta." Jasmine's heart twisted. She loved her city, her job, her family. "What about us?" she whispered. David reached across the table. "What about us, indeed? I won't decide without you." It was the first time Jasmine realized love wasn't just about emotions. It was about choices, sacrifices, and shared dreams. After weeks of prayer and late-night talks, Jasmine and David decided to stay in Atlanta. "Money comes and goes," David said, holding her hand. "But love like this? We don't throw it away." Standing under the city lights, Jasmine felt tears of gratitude. "When love is blind, it controls you," she said softly. "But when love sees, it frees you." With David's arm around her, she knew she had finally stepped into the kind of love her mother always wanted for her. Clear, honest, and worth fighting for. David invited Jasmine to his family's Sunday dinner. She was nervous, smoothing her dress as they walked into his parents' warm home. His mother, Mrs. Johnson, welcomed her with open arms. "So you're the woman who finally tamed my son," she teased, laughter filling the room. Jasmine blushed, but David squeezed her hand. Over roasted chicken and cornbread, Jasmine felt something she hadn't in years. She belonged. David had been carrying a ring in his jacket for weeks, waiting for the right moment. One evening, as they walked by the Atlanta skyline, he stopped. "Jasmine, you've taught me what love really means. Will you marry me?" Her eyes widened, tears falling freely. "Yes, David. Yes." Passers-by clapped as David slid the ring on her finger. This time, the sparkle didn't blind her. It reflected her strength. News of the engagement spread quickly, and Marcus somehow heard. He sent Jasmine a long message. "You'll regret this. No one will love you like I did." Jasmine's hands trembled, but David saw her distress. "Block him," David said firmly. "The past doesn't get to steal our joy." With a deep breath, Jasmine deleted Marcus's number for good, finally closing that chapter of her life. The wedding planning was exciting but stressful. Evelyn wanted tradition, Jasmine wanted something simple, and David just wanted her happy. Tasha, her loyal best friend, stepped in. "Girl, this is your day. Do it your way." On the wedding morning, Jasmine stood in her white gown, remembering the last time she almost walked down the aisle. This time, there was no fear, only certainty. Before family and friends, Jasmine and David exchanged vows under a canopy of white roses. "I loved blindly before," Jasmine said, her voice trembling, "but now I choose to love with open eyes." David smiled, tears streaking his face. "And I choose to see you, always." The crowd cheered as they kissed, sealing a love born not out of blindness, but out of truth. Perfect Rose, let's continue the saga. Since Jasmine and David are now married, we'll dive into married life, family struggles, and growth. Here's the next block. Jasmine and David moved into a modest townhouse on the outskirts of Atlanta. Boxes littered the living room as Jasmine laughed, trying to assemble furniture while David struggled with instructions. "Babe, you're holding it upside down," she teased. He grinned. "That's why I need you." For Jasmine, this wasn't just a house. It was a fresh start, a symbol of building life on truth, not illusions. Months later, Jasmine felt unusual fatigue. A test confirmed it. She was pregnant. When she told David, his eyes widened, then softened with joy. "We're going to be parents," he whispered, hugging her tight. Evelyn, overwhelmed with pride, prayed over her daughter. "God is restoring all you lost, Jasmine." For the first time, Jasmine realized love wasn't just healing her past, it was shaping her future. Pregnancy brought joy but also challenges. Jasmine faced complications at work, and long nights turned into arguments. "You're never home," she accused David one evening. He rubbed his temples. "I'm saving lives, Jazz. But I'm here now." Tears filled her eyes. "I just don't want to feel alone again." David pulled her close. "You'll never face life alone, not with me." On a rainy night, Jasmine went into labor earlier than expected. The hospital buzzed as David held her hand through every contraction. Hours later, the cry of a baby girl filled the room. "Welcome, Naomi Grace Johnson," Jasmine whispered, tears streaming. David kissed her forehead. "She has your strength, Jazz." Looking at Naomi, Jasmine knew the pain of her past had birthed not just healing, but new life. One Sunday afternoon, Evelyn rocked Naomi in her arms while Jasmine and David sat together, hands intertwined. "Do you see now, Jasmine?" her mother asked gently. "Love isn't blind. It sees everything and chooses anyway." Jasmine smiled, her heart full. "Yes, Mama. And now I finally understand." Watching her daughter sleep, Jasmine whispered, "Naomi, you'll never have to learn love the hard way like I did. Because I'll teach you